Jim, tell us what's on your mind, sir.
Yeah, it's a different Trump, Mark. He's impervious to this market decline. It's a different version of him.
How's
There's no
that?
reelection. There's no reelection to worry about. It's go
Yeah.
big or go home, and they're going very, very big. And something that I had wondered about a couple months ago, I think has now been confirmed. Um, give all the credit in the world to the administration and Trump for trying to do this. However, their hand may have been forced. It appears that now dissent is now confirming a conversation must have taken place whereby he and or Lutnick and others may have come to Trump and said, hey, look, during your 4-year term, you stand a very good chance of us hitting the wall, going off the cliff. Choose your metaphor. Um, Being swallowed up by the debt. And that's going to be your legacy. So if you wish to live the rest of your life out with that as your legacy, um, that may very well be the case. So you're seeing a set of policies now pursued that are designed to address this and do what others haven't done that have come before. They're not kicking the can down the road, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. But it may have been to ward off another financial crisis.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, they risk. I think they risk um, creating one because it's to me it's all about a recession and avoiding one. We need a soft landing. This plane has to land without a recession because our picture now is just too tenuous. Our debt to GDP is 120%. Budget deficit as a percentage of GDP is 7%, and our interest payments and interest-like payments on a month-by-month basis as a percentage of tax receipts are now 108%. These are numbers we've never seen before
Yeah.
going into a recession, and a recession, will blow these numbers out. Budget deficit to GDP, the percent is 7%. We could add 8 percentage points to that in a recession, and that would just create an acute imbalance between tax revenue coming in and the spending that's going
Yes.
out.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and it would and that's what the market is telling us that it's beginning to it's smarter than all of us. It's one great big ask the audience and a lifeline, and it's beginning to worry about this. And we have now experienced just the past 24 hours, $2.7 trillion in market cap eliminated. We're down 15, 20%. And I fear we have another 15% more. And history tells us that recessions will take you down 35%. So
Yeah.
that's S&P
Jim,
500 over
Jim,
6,100,
Jim, tell me,
down
tell
down
me.
to 42, 4,300.
Yeah. Yeah.
Soup to nuts.
Tell me, Jim, what your best case realistic scenario is for how the next couple months play out. What's the best case?
I don't know the next couple of months. I'm worried about
Hmm.
the fall.
Yeah.
I'm worried
All
about
right. So, but all
the
right. So
numbers.
best case for the rest of the year. Like, could we be in positive economic growth in the fourth quarter?
Well, we could if we get this tariff revenue realized. The initial tariffs raised 150 billion dollars. This new round announced yesterday is another 480 billion dollars. So they're counting on this tax revenue
Yeah.
to bridge that gap and get us to the other side in order to avoid the typical definition of recession, 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth.
Yeah.
Um, I fear we're going to get that because every $300 billion cut out of government spending lops off 1 percentage point of GDP growth. We're
Yeah.
growing at 2.5. We don't have many 300 billions to go
Yeah. Yeah.
before you get, and Doge wants a trillion, right?
Right.
So I look, they drove me into the arms of Trump, this lawfare stuff. I enthusiastically voted for him, still support him. I just worry about a policy error here now. And I wonder whether we're going to see an emergency FOMC meeting with Powell coming in because the 2-year Treasury note yield is dropping the Fed
Yeah.
funds rate is still at 4.5%.
Yes, sir.
Banks borrow at the long end and they lend at the short end, and that's going to create a problem. So
Yep.
we may see that, and I hope we do,
Yeah. Jim,
because
thank
that'll
you.
be
Yeah. That
my
can
thought.
make my name come great. Jim, thank you. All super interesting. Adam, any comments on what Jim had to say?
Yeah, a few things. I think he cited the amount of revenue raised by Trump during his first admin, but I do believe that about 90% of that revenue went back into Iowa farmers to bail them out.
Uh, how much
Yeah,
did you say? What, like, how much of it?
I believe he said 150 billion if he was citing the
Yeah.
first term numbers. I don't want to make
Yeah.
sure, but I believe 92% of it
Yeah.
went back to bail out Iowa
A
farmers.
went,
But
a lot went to Trump's farmers, as he likes to
yeah,
call them, my
yeah.
farmers.
And then
Yeah.
also, I just feel like the Federal Reserve stuck a soft landing under the Biden admin, right? Back in 2022, everyone thought there was going to be a recession. I remember
Yeah.
that was a huge talk, or maybe
Yeah.
21. And
Yeah.
we stuck the soft landing. So I feel like both sides should be able to agree at the bare minimum that what Trump just did was a massive gamble at an already volatile time. And I think that would be one of my criticisms, that I think both sides should be able to get beside. Like, even if I can concede that I can see his end goal, which I can, I think he did take a risk on all of our behalf at a volatile time when he didn't he ran on taking that risk, but only kind of, right? He said
Yeah.
he would do the tariffs, but we didn't realize it would raise prices. He also said something contradictory as well, which is he would lower prices and